Okay. How you guys doing? Thanks for being here. Um, hey, I had a question about KJ. He's going back to Mississippi, his home state, to play. What sense do you guys get from him this week about how big a deal it is for him to go back and play in his home state?
I think it's huge to play, in your home state. We got a game down in Dallas, which meant the world to me. So I know how much it's going to mean to him to get back down there. I think he's ready. He's excited, and we have a good game plan for him.
Yeah, just go off the ball, just by like how the weekend started. He's prepared himself to go back home and play for his hometown, home state, whatever. But I think it's going to be a good game for him.
Last week, George, that's a rough game for everybody. Probably going to be a rough game for anybody that goes in there this year. But how well do you think KJ's played? How would you guys assess his play and what he's meant to the team?
One thing I can say about KJ, just from that game, it really hurt our pride. It really didn't, hurt us physically. But, I just felt like KJ, he went out there, he gave it his all. He did what he could for the team. And I think his head is still straight on just by how he came back and practiced this week.
And just what do you thought about his season? Because everybody knew he could run. I think there were some questions about his passing, but he's showing off a strong arm, been pretty accurate. What have you guys thought about his season? Treylon, maybe you can take that, and Bumper, maybe you could add.
I feel like it's been a good season for KJ. He's running the ball really good. He's throwing the ball really good. And, who knows what can happen in the future. So I think it's going good for him.
And honestly, just watching from a defensive standpoint, I think he's matured so much in the passing game, and that's kind of credit to Coach Browse and all the quarterbacks he's had developed him so nice, and love watching him play. And honestly, the passes he's thrown this season have been wonderful.
Thanks, guys.
Scotty.
Yeah, Treylon, this weekend's game is going to be a pretty good showcase for I'd probably say some of the best receivers in this league. Yourself included, obviously, but just your thoughts on the skill talent on both sides, and then just what you feel you've done well this season.
Yeah, like you said, it is going to be a good atmosphere for us. We're just going to go out there and just play Arkansas football. I'm going to do that, go play Arkansas football, and I just feel like, without my teammates, I wouldn't have did anything that I've did this season, and just going to keep playing football.
And Bumper, just what are your thoughts on Ole Miss's running game and just kind of the importance of bouncing back on you guys' end in terms of run defense?
Yes, we're very familiar with this offense. We see it a lot, and I think that there's certain things they do that we can feel like we can get after. But we have to continue to work this week, continue to practice as hard as we can. I think we've upped the intensity this week in practice even more. But that's just kind of the way things go. Whenever you have a loss, you have to step on harder and work more.
Tom?
Hey, Bumper, I know every game stands alone, but the way Ole Miss reacted after last year's game here, I think it's a really important game for them to, show, what happened last year is not them. I'm interested in how you think they might attack the drop 8 and changes that might be in store for them.
Obviously they have good coaches, and they're going to go and make adjustments from last year. But we're not the same defense as last year. I think we're playing at a higher level. So it's going to be a test of who took last year and wanted to work on it, work on their craft. And I feel like we've done a lot of good things, and we're excited for the game plan we have with it.
Hey, Treylon, Lane Kiffin said yesterday that what Arkansas did on defense last year impressed him so much. They're doing a lot of the same stuff. When you practice against that, can you tell that?
Yeah, playing our drop 8 defense, it's hard to get open, because it's people everywhere. But, you just go out there and you study your film and you just attack it.
And what do you make of the Ole Miss defense this year in terms of improvements? Because it looks like they're better.
You can tell that they've gotten a lot better. They're a really good football team. We're just going to go play Arkansas football.
Yeah, and then, hey, Bumper, on the series with Ole Miss, there's been some wild games in the past, and I don't know if the fans think of it as a big rivalry game, but there's some good history in this. Can you tell that?
Absolutely. It's always been a close game. There's always been a big play that's determined the outcome of the game, and that's kind of how all important SEC games are. I think we would love for it not to be high drama, but that's how ball is being played in the SEC right now. So we're going to continue to work on our situational football. So when we get down to the wire, we're on our P's and Q's.
I got on late, but Bumper, have they asked you about kind of Matt Corral and what you've seen from him and just kind of how different, if anything, that he's doing better this year compared to last year?
But I think it's kind of like, same thing with our offense. It's year 2 in their system. I think he's got a great understanding of, his reads and his checkdowns. So just we're going to have to run the ball whenever he does check the ball down. That's kind of our mantra, run and hit. And I think that's going to have to come to play this Saturday.
Otis?
Yeah. Treylon, talk about, it seems like everybody's talking about the wide receivers are blocking better this year. I don't know if you are or not, but that's what people are saying. Just talk about the emphasis on blocking for wide receivers, not just catching the ball, but blocking too.
Really, it's a big emphasis. Blocking on the perimeter is big for the running backs, on stretch plays, pitch plays, not only, is catching the ball, that's really good, but in the NFL, they look for people who's going to go out there and put their nose in something and block up. And so that's what I'm willing to do. That's what our team is willing to do.
How much is Warren Thompson improving each week? I'm not just in blocking, but I mean just as a receiver, Treylon.
He's improving really, 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 really well, and that's big for him coming into a new offense. And so, it's just he can just keep getting better and better each week.
Robert, what is the one thing that their quarterback, what's the biggest challenge to containing him? I mean, is it because if you drop he can run too. It's not just like he's going to stand in the pocket. What's the biggest challenge with him, with the quarterback?
It's, you have to play disciplined ball. You have to have a quarterback player, running back player, dive player. And I think if you play with discipline, it helps eliminate the explosive plays with the quarterback run.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Come back around for time, Bob.
Yeah, Bumper, Corral obviously had an uncharacteristically bad game last year. You guys had a lot to do with that, I know. But after he had 6 picks, well, what are you expecting from him on Saturday?
I think, like I said, last year is last year. This is a new season. They're playing well. Obviously, he's going to be preparing a lot for our drop 8. But, we're just going to continue to try to switch things up, continue to apply pressure to him. Our D-line's been playing really well. So hopefully we can just keep him disrupted, and so he'll have to get out of the pocket and make errant throws.
And then for both you guys, Coach Pittman said, the other day that he wasn't going to let Georgia beat you guys twice, and that, this is still a confident team. Just kind of what's the mindset coming off that Georgia loss? Well, how's prep been this week?
Honestly, I can take that one. We've put that in the past. Georgia's in the past. We're moving on to Ole Miss, preparing for Ole Miss. We're not worried about Georgia at all. They were a good team. They showed it, but we're not worried about that. We're just ready to play Ole Miss.
You want to say anything, add anything to that, Bumper?
He said it perfect. Yeah, we're on to Ole Miss. They're a great team. I mean, Georgia was a great team, but we're all spirits are high, and we're ready to head to Oxford.
Okay, thanks.
Scotty, got anything else?
Yeah, just one last thing, if you don't mind, just for both guys. What were I know you want to put Georgia behind you, but what are some of the lessons that you can take from last week, applied this week and down the line in league play?
I can say eliminating penalties. Just knowing that you're going into another opponent environment, knowing that it's going to be loud, all of that. It really just goes back to practice. Preparation, how you prepare that week for them. And just better on that.
Tom?
Hey, Treylon, you had that great catch against them last year, and I'm wondering, was that your best catch of the season? And what did that win mean for y'all? It was homecoming and kind of broke a losing streak at home.
Really, I just treated it as I just caught the ball, and made a touchdown for the Razorbacks. It wasn't really that big to me, as long as we got the win.
And as far as facing Ole Miss, Western Division game, and y'all are kind of similar, year 2 under a new coach, and things are looking up for you. What do you think about the matchup with those guys?
I feel like it's going to be a really good game. you know, the outcome will be the outcome.
Yeah, I think we both have a lot to play for, and it's going to be a physical game. It's going to be who's going to play more discipline, and I think we're both excited for the challenge.
Thanks.
All right, Hutch, last one.
I'm good.
All right, Treylon. Bump.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.